guys, Jess here. Welcome to another advent calendar video. So in this video I am making a quick and easy traveler's notebook. I've never made one before ever, so I am doing it for the first time with you today. So hopefully I have done it in a way that makes sense to you guys and is easy to understand. It's just a really quick and easy one. It's not one that would be durable or last forever because I haven't covered the cover page like I know other people do. I also don't have measurements for you. I just did a random size, whatever I felt like. So the first thing I did was cut down my cover, my traveler's notebook front cover, and that was just a really old mixed media page that I have had sitting in my cupboard for years and years and years. So as you can see, I'm cutting up just normal A4 white paper, and this is what helped me to decide what size I needed my traveler's notebook to be, because if you can see there, they've actually got a header and a footer on the page, and obviously I don't want that in my traveler's notebook. So once I cut off the header and cut off the footer, that sort of gave me an approximate size. It's about 21 centimeters, but I'm not sure the other 21 by something. Sorry, I know that is no help. So I ended up cutting 15 sheets of paper, and then that folded in half is obviously your 30 inserts. So I folded those up and put those down inside my cover as well, my traveler's notebook. And then I was ready to start marking the holes where I wanted the holes to be to put the stitching through. So I marked at the halfway point, which is your 21 and a half, so halfway point, 10 and a half. And then I kind of did 2.5 centimeters, but I also just spaced them out as best I could without getting too close to the edge. I had no particular, I knew I wanted 3 or 4 stitches in there, and I just didn't want them too close together. So I think it's 2.5, 2.5, and 2 centimeters. By the time you have a gap at the end. So I've just got that little peg there to help hold all the paper together while I shove my fine pointed X-Acto knife through all of the paper at once. I don't have any kind of tool that I could use with a pointy end on it except a needle, and a needle would never get through 15 sheets of paper without something else helping. So I'm just twisting and shoving this blade through. It's one of those really pointy ones, so it is quite a nice thin point on the end, and I'd almost made it through, so just tipping over and pushing through from the other side as well. Once I have all those through, then I am ready for my stitching. What I ended up doing, because I do make 2 more of these off screen, I ended up pushing almost all the way through with the Stanley knife and X-Acto knife, and then getting the needle and just shoving it through the last couple of pieces of paper, because obviously the needle is pointy and sharp and could get through a few, but just couldn't get through too many. So that did take me probably the longest of the whole clip, or the whole process, is sticking those holes through. So that's why the second time round I made it a little bit quicker and a little bit easier by not trying to shove the knife all the way through the whole entire set of 15 papers, and using the needle as well. So then I've just got some nice white thread. It is nothing special. It's actually just from Daisy-O, and I'm doubling that. So I'm looping it through, and then I want to use the thread as the double thickness instead of just the single thickness, just to make sure it's strong enough. So I'm starting in the middle hole, and then I'm just going in and out, in and out, in and out. I think it's called a saddle stitch. So I'm going in and out all the way to the bottom, and then I'm turning around and coming back up to the top. And that will mean that I've ended up stitching the whole way up and down the spine on both sides of the book. So once I get back to the middle, I do the exact same saddle stitch back up the other side as well. So really simple, really easy. You'll just see I'm fiddling a little bit there. I'm just trying not to get my strings tangled. I also didn't tie a knot in the end of my first string, you totally can. I am just going to tie both of the ends together, which you will see me do. So once you have finished all your saddle stitch, you've got string hanging out from the middle of the first hole, and you've got string hanging out from the middle of the one hole down. So I just pulled those strings really tight together and tied those into a knot, and that just nicely finished off the look of the inside and the binding of this book. So once I'd done that and was really happy with the nice strong knot, I cut off my threads. It's just a normal, nothing special knot. And then I just get a tiny little bit of glue on the end of my finger and rub that over the knot just to sort of seal it in and stop it from coming undone. And that is the whole book done. So simple, so easy. Literally took about 7 minutes, I think. So now for embellishing. So I just pulled out some goodies from my stash. Oh, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. I realised it's popping open a lot, and I was originally in my head going to use some elastic to go around it. I was even going to buy just like a rubber band or elastic hair ties or something that would fit all the way around, but I didn't have any at home, and I wanted to try and get these finished now. So I've decided to use eyelets and make, I don't know what they're called, but when you wrap the string around. So I've cut 2 little circles, and I'm just collecting 2 little eyelets out in sort of a matching colour, so in a nice pink colour. And just in the right size. I've got varying sizes there, and I know I want sort of the medium size, not the tinsy tiny ones I've got, but fairly small. Yay! So once I have those, I will show you how I do my eyelets. I have got a little contraption that's like on a spring. So here it comes. That is it there. I've got 3 of them for obviously the different sized eyelets that I'm using. So the first side or the first end, what I'm doing first is finding the middle. So measuring my my 10.5, to find the middle, and then measuring approximately where I want the holes to make for the eyelets, because I know that I need them in approximately as close as I can, same position, so that when I wrap the string around, it's actually meeting across the center. It's not going to, one at the top and one at the bottom. So the way this machine works that I'm using, one end is for making the holes and the other end is for doing the eyelet. So you put it purple side down first and you pull back the string and let go, and it bangs through. It makes quite a loud noise, bangs through and makes the hole. Once you have done that, so I'm making holes in my book and in my little circle. I'm then putting the eyelet through the circle and through the book with the good side facing down. And then this time I'm using the other end, the grey end, and I'm just tapping, and I do a little bit softer with these tapping, and 3 little taps, and that seals in my eyelet. So tap, 1, 2, 3, and that is them. They're all done. So just getting a little thread now and wrapping that string around one side and around the other side, and apparently it wasn't perfect enough, so I better fix it. And the book is finished. So now you could obviously leave it just like this. If you knew what you were doing with it, you could put a heading on it, you could put a title on it. I'm not sure how Katie will choose to use her traveller's notebook, so I am just going to put a few embellishings on the front, and also make sure she's got enough room if she would like to add a title or add a heading. You might use it every day for a month, you might use it as a feelings journal, you might use it as a specific holiday journal. So I just want to make sure that, she's got enough space to modify it how she would so desire. I do want to apologise for the noise in the background. Usually I wouldn't have quite as much noise in the background. You've often heard my little man running around and having fun, but he is especially having an amazing time today. And I'm really running late with getting these advent calendar videos ready for you. It is currently the 29th of November. So as you can tell, being the 29th of November, I need to get these finished and out. I haven't decided on the order I'm putting these in yet. I haven't wrapped them up, ready to go to Katie. So hypothetically, if this happens to be number 1, I need to hurry up and get it done. If it happens to be number 20, I could spend a whole nother week getting it ready. But I don't see Katie actually as often as you would imagine that I do. So I need to have all of my advent calendar ready and given to her. And I just like the idea of finishing everything off, including the videos as well. So as you can see, I'm just using my PVA for this. No reason. Double-sided tape would have been totally fine, but it was quick and on hand. Sometimes it's easier than fiddling around with the tape. So just a doily and a little hello. That is from the Schimmel collection, and so is the little typewriter. Then getting a Tim Holtz word phrase small talk sticker, and I can't 100% see what it says. You probably can. It's tiny on my phone, but it says something about travel and journal, and I just thought that was cute. Then these are the 2 that I made off screen. So the process was exactly the same, how I made the first ones, and now I'm just showing you my little thought process while I am embellishing them, because I know for some people that's the part that's a little bit more interesting. Others probably would have loved to have seen how to make it again. I apologise. You never know. You can't please everyone, can you? So I am using, as I said before, the Schimmel collection, which is just gorgeous. I've almost run out. I've really only got these last few pieces left, and so I thought I would use as much of it up as I possibly can. I have ideas in my head of which ones I really want to use, so I'm trying to make them work as best I can. And you can see from my fiddling around that I'm getting there, but I'm just not quite happy with how it's looking. I think I'm about to make a final decision on the blue one, the blue and white one, I think. I'm just watching what I'm doing. I even forget what I'm doing sometimes. So just putting on the little hangy bit or the string bit for the tag, because I'm a strong believer that if you've got a tag, you should have something coming off it, some form of string or ribbon or cotton or something, because the hole's already there, you might as well use it, and I think it looks cuter. So in the end, I decided trying to keep the word happiness on that tag wasn't working for me. I love the word happiness, and I wanted the word happiness, but I couldn't make it fit with everything else I wanted, and I really wanted to put the books on there, because Katie is also a really big book person, and I just wasn't working. So I end up covering that word happiness, and I feel that the flow is a lot better with that word covered. So you win some, you lose some. So that one now is pretty much ready. So I'm just going to glue it down because I'm happy with it, and I can pop it off to the side and then focus on the sort of multicolored ones. So the paper on the right, the multicolored paper, is from the Cocoa Vanilla Bohemian Dreams collection, and the paper on the left is, I'm fairly sure, an American Crafts paper, but I can't tell you the exact collection, I'm sorry. It was actually just a little bit of scrap, well, not quite a big bit of scrap, but a chunk of the paper that I hadn't used yet in one of my kits, and thought this was a great way to use up some of the pattern paper. I hoard things so badly, so I thought, come on, you've got to use it, you've got to do something with this stuff. So this one, I am now having a bit of a fiddle and a bit of a play. I think it's easier now that I'm only focused on one instead of trying to focus on two. In case you're wondering what he's doing and why there is so much noise, he is literally running around our coffee table in circles and yelling, just having a marvellous time. I really wish sometimes I knew what was going on in his brain, because to me, watching him, all he's doing is running around in circles, but he is just loving life and having a marvelous time. So he must be playing some form of game with himself that I just don't know. So this one comes together quite quickly now that I'm only focused on one thing. I wasn't going to use that teddy bear. I actually wanted to save him for myself, but he was easier to use and easier to work. You can see there, I'm just trying to make sure some of the embellishing was sticking up a little bit. So I'm just weighing it down just to help stick it down to the page a little bit better. Now I've run out of word phrases that talk about journey or travel. So while I'm reading through those, I'm just holding down the embellishing there so that they don't peel up or roll up with the glue. And I think I end up going for one about life and happiness and things like that. You can probably read it on your screen anyway. So I don't think I mentioned, but I put a tiny word or a word phrase on the other one as well. And we are done. I contemplated putting enamel dots or something on it, but realised they'd probably just get flicked off if it's something that she's going to travel with, so decided not to. And 1, 2, 3, there they are. So I hope you have enjoyed this little tutorial, and I hope you are enjoying our Advent Calendar series, a video every day. This was crazy and it was so hard to get them done, but it's been so much fun. I hope you are liking, maybe you're playing along with the family as well. So thanks guys, and we'll see you tomorrow for another one. Bye.